A person who
A
has had
person
a
who has
big
a big
influence
influence
on me
on
is
my
my older
older
cousin,
cousin
Emily.
Emily.
She
She
lives
lives
in the
in the
UK,
UK,
and
and
I've
I
known
have
her
known her
since
since
I was
I
a
was a
child
child
because
because
our
our
families
family are
are
quite
quite close. Emily has
Emily has
always been
always
a
been a
role
role
model for
model
me
for me
because
because
of
of
her
her
determination
determination
and
and
positive
positive
outlook
outlook on
on
life.
life. A
A
few
few
years
years ago,
ago,
she
she started
started
her
her
own
own
small
small
business from
business from
scratch,
scratch,
and I watched
and
how
I
she
watched how
worked
she worked
tirelessly,
tirelessly,
sometimes late into
sometimes
the
late
night,
into the
to
night
make
to
it
make it successful.
successful.
Even
Even
when
when
things
things
didn't go
didn't
as
go as
planned,
planned, she
she never
never gave
gave
up.
up. Instead,
Instead, she
she
treated
treated
every
every
problem
problem
as a
as an
learning opportunity.
opportunity.
Her
Her
attitude has
attitude has
influenced
influenced
me
me
a
a lot,
lot, especially in
especially in
terms of
terms
how I
how
deal
I
with
deal with
challenges.
challenges.
Whenever I
Whenever I
feel
feel
like
like
giving up
giving
on
up
something,
something,
I often think
often
about
think
how
about
she
how she
stayed
stayed
focused
focused
and
and optimistic.
optimistic.
She
She
has
has taught
taught
me
me
that
that
hard work,
work, patience,
patience,
and
and resilience can really
resilience can really
change the
change the
outcome of
outcome of
any
any
situation.
situation.
Because of her,
So
I try to
I try
push
to prepare
myself a
myself a
little
little
harder
harder
and
and
remain
remain positive,
positive, even
even
when
when
things
things are
are tough.
I
I
truly
truly
admire
admire her,
her, and
and
I
I
feel
feel grateful
grateful
to
to
have
have
such
such
an
an
inspiring
inspiring
figure
figure
in
in
my
my life.
life. A woman I
Woman I
really
really
admire
admire
is
is
Oprah
Oprah
Winfrey,
Winfrey,
the
the
famous
famous
American talk
American
show host
also
and
hot
philanthropist.
philanthropist.
I've known
I have
about
thought
her
about
for
her for
many
many
years
years because
because she's
she's
such
such
a
a
global
global icon.
icon, and I've watched
I have
several of
watched
her
several of
interviews
her
and
interviews and
speeches
speeches
online.
online.
What I
What I
admire
admire
most
most
about
about
Oprah is
Oprah
her
is her
resilience
resilience
and
and
determination.
determination.
She
She
came
came
from
from
a
a
very
very difficult
difficult
childhood,
childhood, yet she
yet she
managed to
managed to
build
build
an
an
incredibly
incredibly
successful
successful
career
career
and
and
become
become
one of the
one of the
most
most
influential
influential
women in the world.
in the world.
She is
She not
not
only
only
a
a
talented
talented communicator,
communicator, but
but also
also
a
a very
generous
generous
person
person
who
who
has
has
contributed
contributed
a lot
a
to
lot to
charity
charity
and
and education.
education. I
I
particularly
particularly
admire the
admire
way
the
she
way she
connects
connects
with
with people
people.
whenever
Whenever she
she
interviews
interviews
someone,
someone.
she
She
listens
listens
deeply
deeply
and
and
asks
asks
thoughtful questions, which makes others
which
open
may
up and
also
share their
open up
stories.
their
She
story.
has also
She has
encouraged
also
millions
encouraged
of
millions
people
of
to
people
read
to
more
read
through her
more
famous book club,
book club,
which shows her
which show
passion
her
for
passion
learning
for
and
learning
growth.
and growth.
I admire Oprah
Admire
because
Oprah
she
because
proves
she
that no
proves that
matter
no
where you
matter where
come
you
from,
come
with
from,
hard work and
with hard work and
determination, you can
determination,
achieve
you can
great
achieve
things.
everything.
Her
Her life
life
story
story is
is
inspiring,
inspiring.
and it
It
motivates me
motivates
to
me to
stay
stay
positive
positive
and
and never give
never
up
give
on
up
my
on my own
goal.
goals. Family
A
member
family
I
member I
really
really
respect
respect
is
is
my
my
grandfather.
grandfather.
He's
He
in
is in
his
his
late
late
70s
70s,
now,
but
but
he is
he's
still
still
very
very active and
active
full of
and full of
energy.
energy.
I've known
I
him,
know
of
him, of
course,
course,
since
since
I
I
was
was born,
born,
and he
and he has
had
always
already
been
a
a
short
strong
influence
influence in my
in my
life.
life.
My
My
grandfather
father
is a
is very
very disciplined
disciplined
and
and
hardworking
hardworking.
person. He
He
used
used
to
to
be a
be a
teacher,
teacher,
and
and
even
even
though
though
he's
he is
retired,
retired,
he
he
still
still loves
loves reading,
reading,
writing,
writing, and
and
sharing
sharing
knowledge
knowledge
with
with
others.
others.
Whenever I
Whenever I
visit him,
visit him, we
we usually
usually
spend
spend
time
time talking
talking
about
about books,
books, history,
history,
and
and sometimes
sometimes
even
even
current
current
events.
events.
I
I
always
always learn something new
something new
from those
from the
conversations.
conversation.
The reason I
I
respect
respect
him
him so
so much is
much
because of his
because of
wisdom
his
and
wisdom
integrity.
and
He
integrity.
has faced
He has
many
met many
difficulties
people
in
in life,
life,
but
but he
he never
never
lost
lost
the
his honesty
honesty or
or
his
his
sense
sense of
of
responsibility
responsibility
toward the
toward the
family.
family.
He
He
always
always reminds
reminds
me
me
to
to
stay
stay
humble,
humble, to value
value
education,
education, and to
and to
treat
treat
others
others with
with kindness.
kindness. I think he
I
sets
think
a
he
wonderful
set a
example
wonderful
of how
example
to
of
live
how
a
to live a
meaningful
meaningful
life,
life,
and I
and
hope
I
I can
hope
carry
I
his
can
values
value
with me
with
in
me
the
in the future.
future. That's why
Why
he's
he is
one of
one
the
of the
people
people
I
I
admire
admire
and
and
respect
respect
the
the
most
most
in
in
my
my
family.
family.
A
A
teacher
teacher
who
who
really
really
helped
helped
me in
me in
my
my
studies
study
was my
was
high
my high
school
school
mathematics
mathematics
teacher,
teacher,
Mrs.
Mr.
Williams.
Williams.
She
She
taught
taught
me
me
during my
during my
final two
final
years of
2 years
school,
of school,
which was
which was
quite a
quite a
stressful
stressful
time
time
because
because
I
I
was
would be preparing
preparing for
for
important
important exams.
exams. What made
What
her
made her
special was
special
the
was
way
the
she
way she
explained
explained
difficult
difficult
concepts
concepts
in
in
a
a very
very
simple
simple
and
and
clear
clear
manner.
manner. For
For example,
example,
I
I
always
always
struggle
struggled
with
with algebra, but
others.
she used real life
You
examples
real
and
example
step by
step by
step
step
methods that made
method
it
that make
much easier
it
for
much
me
easier
to
for me to
understand.
understand.
She
She
also gave
always
us extra practice
expressive
worksheets and
and
encouraged
encourage
us
us
to ask
to ask questions
questions, even
even
outside of
outside of
class.
class.
Personally,
Personally,
what I
I
appreciated
appreciate
most
was
was
her
her
patience.
patience.
She never
She
made me
never
feel
made me feel
embarrassed
embarrassed for not
for not
understanding
understanding
something
something
right
right
away.
away. Instead,
Instead, she motivated
motivate
me
me
by
by
saying
saying
that
that
everyone
everyone
learns
learns at
at
their
their
own
own
pace.
pace.
Because
Because
of
of
her
her
guidance,
guidance, my
my
confidence
confidence
grew,
grew
and
and
my
my
grades
grade improved
improved
significantly.
significantly. I respect
I
her
respect
not
her
only
not
as
only
a
as a
teacher,
teacher, but
but also
also a
as a
mentor.
mentor.
She
She showed
showed
me
me
that
that
education
education
is
is not just
not
about
just about
memorizing facts,
memorizing facts,
but
but about
about
developing
developing
problem solving
problem solving
skills
skill
and
and
believing in
believing in
yourself.
yourself.
I
I
think
think
she
she
had
has
a
a big
big
influence
influence
on
on
my
my
academic
academic
journey.
journey, and I still feel grateful for her support. A friend
A
who has
friend
had a really
really
positive
positive
impact on my life
in
is
my
my
best
best
friend.
friend, Sarah.
Sarah.
We
We
first
first
met
met
in
in
university about
university
6 years
about 6
ago
years ago
when we
when
were
we were
assigned to work
assigned
on
to
the
work on
same
the
group
same group project.
project. From
From
that
that
moment,
moment,
we
we
became
became
close
close
and
and
have
have
remained
remained
best
best friends
friends
ever
ever
since.
since. We usually
Usually
spend
spend
time
time
studying
studying
together,
together,
going
going
out for
out for
coffee,
coffee,
or
or just
just
chatting
chatting about our
our
lives.
life. What
What
makes
makes Sarah
Sarah special
special
is
is
her
her optimistic
optimistic
personality.
personality. No
No
matter how
matter how
stressful
stressful
things
things
get,
get,
she
she
will
always
manage to
manages
stay
to stay
calm
calm
and
and
look
look at
at
the
the
bright
bright
side
side
of
of
the
the situation.
situation. Her
Her
positive
positive
outlook has
influenced
influenced
me
me
a
a
lot.
lot.
For
For
example,
example,
whenever I
whenever
feel
I feel
overwhelmed
overwhelmed with
with
studies
study or
or personal
personal
issues,
issues, she
she
always
always
remind
reminds
me
me
to
to take
take
a
a
step
step
back
back and
and
focus
focus
on
on solutions instead of
problems.
problems. Because of her,
I have
I've learned to manage stress better and approach challenges with more confidence. I
I
truly
truly admire
admire
her
her kindness, patience,
passion and
and
supportive
supportive
nature.
nature. I think having
Think
her in
her
my
impact
life
have made
has
me
made me
more
more
consistent
resilient
and
and
motivated.
motivated.
So,
That's why I consider her one of the
one of
most
the more
important
important
people
people
in
in
my
the
personal journey.
journey.